You're a winner. And you know what winners say? Fuck the losers who can't take a joke. Man the fuck up.
And now, your mama knows.
Bruce, unleash the baby god dragon! Well, it's another show about to go down. And guys, today is definitely going to be the word I like to use a lot. Epic. And you know why? Because I haven't done this show, which is Keeping It Real with the Cowboy, so let's talk. And guys, I don't even know. It could be 9 months, right? And so a lot of you guys who know me, you haven't known me 9 months ago, all right? So the reason why this is important and powerful to me is because literally what the show is going to be about is how this community kind of formed and got stronger, right? And I feel like a lot of you guys don't know this, and it's fine. You're fine, right? You can wake up every day and you don't know that somebody was buried under your house. It's fine, right? You're living your life. But if you ever wanted to know the history, I think today might be pretty interesting. And today, which is cool, is that this was actually requested by MM2k himself. A lot of you guys know him. He's a pillar of the community. So this is awesome for me. It's a great opportunity to not only bring this side of me back up and to do one of these, but to have none other than MM2k. And like he said, this is the first time he's ever been on my channel. So with that being said, for the people that don't know me, who's here for the first time, I'm going to step back and let you see my logos. If you see that controller in my hand and you see it says all-purpose champ, then what you need to know is I'm a gamer. And you can find me on just about anything by typing in all-purpose champ, whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, Stadia, you name it. Now, with that being said, I'm the master of vlogging. That's right, guys. Everything on this channel since 2011 has been about my life. My honeymoon in Mexico where my wife and I are holding sharks. My weddings on this channel. Just yesterday, I put out my Easter video. Guys, if you want to know anything about the Cowboy, just check out the channel. Check out the playlist. And speaking of Cowboy, the reason why you see it up there, guys, because when I got this hat on, I'm a natural born entertainer. That's what I do, guys. You might come on here and see some kicks, some guys dancing. That's what I do. Now, if you add those three things up, you get the king of content. But enough about me. I know you guys are ready to get into this show, and I am as well. So I'm going to get comfortable, and I'm going to pull up a chair. I hope you guys pull up a chair, and let's get the show started. Man, oh man. MM2k, is this real? Did MM2k hit me up? Man. All right, this is like a dream come true right here, guys, because I admire the heck out of some MM2k because of what he stands for in the community, you know? I'm a big fan of Stadia, and I feel like MM2k is, guys, you know MM2k. So with that said, I'm gonna bring the guy in. But before I do that, let me give some shout outs. Check out some of you guys in the chat. My guy, none other than Jamie Reed. What's going on, man? Geek the Sneak is in the building. My guy, the guy who did my intro music, Mr. Bruce Campbell. Whoa, guys, the gaming cyborg. Give it up for this guy, man. Hold on. Wait. Calm that down. We got, who is this in here? You know he had to come see his boy. He had to check his boy out because we got Project Storm. Oh, I can't see, which is a pretty clever name. I got to say that. In the building. My guy, none other than David Wilson, which is cool. He's new to the community, and you guys seen him all over everywhere. The guy who I'm going to whoop tomorrow when I do my Mad Streets stream because he beat me and took my title, and I will be taking it back. But shout out to my guy, Nick. What's going on, man? And he's coming all the way from South America, guys, which is pretty cool. Crow Resin is in the building. All right, let me get through this thing. Hoax is in the building. Let's go. Michael Pannon, what's up, baby? All right, I know that the horn's going to get old. But, guys, I got to give it up for one guy that he's probably seen almost all of my videos. He's been all around. He's my personal troll, and it's not Jeff, but none other than my guy, Mr. Urban World. Oh, look, following that is Jeff the Troll. What's up, Jeff? All right, guys. So now that we got that out the way, I know there's a lot of you guys watching. Let's do this, though. I'm bad at this. I need a PR person. Guys, we got 21 people watching, and we only got 8 likes. Throw them likes up. Come on, let's go. Put your hands in the air. Oh, wait, that wasn't it. Here you go. There we go. Likes. All right, guys. This is the moment that you and I have been waiting for. I might have to stand up on this one. I want you guys to stand up. Put your hands together and all rise for none other than the sensu sword wielding, the quick mouth spilling. This guy needs no introduction because he is none other than the guy, when you hear him, you might think he's a reverend or a pastor, but he is the guy that nobody could follow after. It's MM2k.
Hey, bro, I gotta give you out of a score of a 10, I gotta give you 35, man. That was the intro. I don't even think that I'm deserving of that intro. That was you did a high kick. I mean, it went from everything to oh man, like I just hope that I can get my feet off the ground like that again one day, man. It was fantastic stuff.
Listen, you honestly, man, you are definitely a pillar of the community, and you know, you're deserving of it. But we're gonna get the mushy stuff out the way because that's not what you came here for.
Absolutely.
So I got a bunch of questions I want to ask you, and you know how it goes, MM. So you remember, so you know the Cowboy that people used to like, this guy, man, I ain't getting on that show. So the fact that you said, bro, I'm coming on, I'm like, oh, you coming on, all right. So You know how it goes, man. We're just gonna get into it. I got some questions for you. Obviously, you could, you know, obviously you wanted to come on here, so it's definitely stuff you want to say. So interject, throw in whatever you want. One question I have for you: do you mind if the viewers ask you questions?
Oh no, absolutely no. Because normally what I do, Cowboy, is I have, you know, Stadia live session, and I thank you so much for your participation and your support of it. We can't do it without people like you. I cancel that today so I can have all the energy that I need for your audience. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, absolutely. Ask away. This is a full open book today.
That's great. Let me just say what's up. The Clo Diz is in the building. What's up, Clo Diz? All right, now, MM. So first, you know, when you decide to, let's say you got a cashew, right? you just don't rip that cashew open, right? You kind
Yeah.
of like, how do I say this? Because it's gonna sound crazy. Well, you darn it, I can't say this.
You
without
nibble at
saying
it.
All right, let's use the word nibble. All right, you nibble at it. You slowly crack open the shell, but you get all the salt on there, right? So, but you just don't rip it open. So, I got some questions I want to get into before we get
Got
into
you.
the get into. All right, if that's cool with
Absolutely.
you.
Yes, sir.
So first I want to dissect you a little bit as a gamer, man. So
Yep.
let me just ask you, because this is kind of about gaming. So I'm just curious, right? I don't know if I ever heard you answer this, but how did you first get into gaming? Like, what was your first system?
Oh, Jesus Christ, man! I've been gaming for like 35 plus years.
Okay.
I'm a hand-me-down kid. So I was the youngest. I have an older brother who we have separate. We have different dads, and
Mhm.
so his dad was loaded. My dad was nowhere to be found. So what my brother always had the neatest and coolest stuff, and then his dad will drop, like his dad would drop off the Commodore 64,
Okay.
which was just amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a kid in the hood had a Commodore, shiny, brand new Commodore 64. And then he gets something else and he'd be tired of it. And then I play on it. You know what I mean? In addition to that, I had an uncle who was huge in the games. He was, a couple decades older than me. He was the baby of the family, but he took a liking to all the boys in the family because he was a nerd and he wanted all of us to be a nerd like him. So really, that's the long answer. The short answer is the first system that I played was the ColecoVision. I remember my brother had it, and right after that, he got the Commodore 64 and was like, I just want to play this. I don't want to play the ColecoVision anymore. I was like, okay. And you know what I'm saying? And then it started there.
Okay, that's cool, man. Do you have a personal favorite system, a favorite console?
Ooh, it's hard, man. I kind of got three that I love equally because what I love about gaming is I don't like just playing the same old stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of my people's that when I started making YouTube content, that's why they like to poke fun and we go back and forth. You'll see us going back and forth on Twitter because when I came in the game, I was a big time Xbox person, but I felt like Xbox was getting stagnated. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't what it was for me when they were bringing out the Armed and Dangerouses, the Jade Empires, and then when they really got into it when they brought out Mass Effect, when they collaborated on Mass Effect and BioShock, people don't realize that those games only came about because Microsoft funded those projects. They were exclusives at one point in time, and those games revolutionized gaming as we know it. So I want to say the 360 is up there. It's a tie between the 360. The Sega Genesis was revolutionary for me, and as an honorable mention, I just want to throw this out here for my ultra nerds that had one, the Tandy 1000, which was actually a computing system, but they had a lot of games. So it's like a three-way tie between those three platforms.
Nice. Tandy 1000. Wow, went in the bag.
Man.
All right.
Woo,
all right, cool. Listen, we're gonna start to speed this up, man. But what got you into cloud gaming? Like, what was that one thing you heard about cloud gaming? You said, you know what? I want to be a part of this.
I wanted to play Division wherever I was at. And it started off with me doing some janky stuff. Like I had my Xbox. This is when you could connect your Xbox One to a PC device. So I connected it to my PC and then I remoted my PC to my phone. So while I was at work, I could be playing Division. It was like moving 2 or 3 frames per second. It was a horrible setup, but I thought I was doing something. So shout out to my broadband bully brethren. I was talking to one of our brethren. His name is The Real Master. Shout out to him. And he was laughing at me. And he said, dude, that's the jankiest thing I've ever heard of. He said, there's actually something called cloud gaming out here. And this was like 2018. This is right when I joined the Triple B. And he said, look, I'm gonna get you a free code. Him and D-Batch of RDX Podcast said, we're gonna find you some free codes, brother, because you can't be going out like that. So they got me some codes to GFN.
Okay.
And I started off with GFN, man. And GFN was my gateway drug to cloud gaming and Stadia.
Wow. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's cool. Wow. GFN.
Yeah, I know. And look, before you answer the next question, I know, okay. And then we can get into this later if people got to ask me questions about this. This is why when people be like, "Oh, MM2k, you're a Stadia stan. Right. All you care about is Stadia." They don't understand the history. A lot of y'all just started coming in here in 2019, and that's why it's important that me and Cowboy in particular is doing this, and he's allowed me to come on and do this with him. Y'all got to understand the history. When I first started getting into cloud gaming, up until I got Stadia in my hands, you couldn't tell me nothing was better than GFN. And then I got Stadia in my hands, and that revolutionized for me what I thought was possible with cloud gaming, and the rest is history. So it's not about me finding a product, going eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and standing for it. I'm going off my own personal likes and my own personal experience, which I think is important for gamers to do.
Oh, yeah. And I think what people don't realize is a lot of people chose Stadia because Stadia allowed people to do what they always wanted to do. That's the thing, right? I just didn't fall off the truck and Stadia hit me in the back of the head. I was big into remote play on PlayStation, but it just wasn't there.
Exactly.
And so when Stadia was introduced and I tried, I was like, well, the worst I could do is pay my $130 and, hope it could do what I want remote play to do, because it's saying I could be at work playing games. And I tried it remote play and it was terrible, right? And Stadia just happened to do that. But so we're on Stadia, and I want to bring this up. So I got two questions, and then we're going to get into some of the good stuff. Yeah. But I always ask this. One is selfishly, right? One is for yourself, and one is for the platform. So my question is, selfishly, what game would you like to see on Stadia? Regardless, it's just for you, just because you want it for you. And then what game would you think would be really good for the platform and for everyone else, like as a whole, for the Stadia platform to have?
I think the game, well, everybody knows that follows me, but I got to stop talking like people know who I am, because we got a new wave of gamers that don't even know who I am. Dying Light 2. I want Dying Light 2, but I want a good performing Dying Light 2. I want a Dying Light 2 with a smooth performance mode. I want a Dying Light 2 with a 4K mode, even if it's got to be bumped up from 1440p. But I've been screaming for that for a year. The game that and I'm going to break some news here, because this was a great question, Cowboy. The game that I want to see on Stadia, even though I don't play this game, is Call of Duty. I give two rats, about Call of Duty. Same but here. Because that game is so big, not just like as far as recognition, but it's the size, the file size is so huge, it would make the biggest case for cloud gaming. And the news that I'm going to break is from one of my personal close friends that's an insider. The Microsoft deal might not be as solid as people thought it was. All I can say is that rumors now is that the way things are looking, it's about 50-50 now, where maybe a month ago it was like, 70-30, but it's like 50-50 now. There's real concerns over in Microsoft land that this deal might not go through, which would be great for all cloud gamers, because that keeps the door open for Call of Duty to be on all these platforms.
Right. And I do want to chime in, because even though they made the statement that going forward they will allow it to be on all the platforms, but people don't realize, notice the platforms it's already on isn't cloud. They don't have the newer Call of Duties in cloud. And that's what I was trying to say when I made a video before. I said, I think, yes, it'll still be on consoles and PC, but as far as in the cloud they're going to hold that for themselves with xCloud. So
absolutely, that's why they made the deal.
Right, and there's cloud gamers that want to play anything in the cloud. So if you keep something for one, then how does it benefit the other cloud platform?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Want to say your guy Twisted Barber's in the building. Cloud, my guy, is in the building. Reaper's in the building. And let me see who else snuck up in here. Oh, yeah, the crazy man Vet is in here too, man. So you gotta watch it with him up in here. and also Foster's in the building, so give a shout out to all you guys. All right. Oh, and then Lukey 6 came in at the tail end. I'll give you one too, Lukey. All right, so MM, man, the thing is, I posted so what I love to do is almost daily I go on my Facebook, right? And I click on Facebook memories. And I'm not gonna lie to you, MM, if you knew me like some years ago, you'd be like, this guy's retarded. Like on my Facebook, if y'all guys if you ever want dirt on me, that's why I should never be a politician. It's all on my Facebook. You know, you'll see there's a point in time where I'm going on vacation, one girl in the picture, half the other vacation, like, hold up, how's another girl in the you know, but again, guys, that was a long time ago. I've been married for going on 7 years now, been with my wife for going on 11, so calm down. But if you do some history, you'd be like, yo, Cowboy was, man, this ain't a gimmick. Anyways, I was going on my Facebook, you know, as I do, and I said, oh, snap, it was a year ago when I did that sit-down discussion with Avery. What? So I posted it, and you seen it, and it means a lot to you. And I want you to actually explain why that means a lot to you. And you could explain the next thing is to get into Stadia 100, because I think that's has a lot to do with us being here today.
No, man, I can't speak to how much it meant to me that you put that out there. And when I did my my open mic, you know, I had a bevy of emotions. I was like excited, you know, embarrassed because I forgot about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like forgetting your kid's birthday, which I've done before, but it's, you know, and then I was also perturbed a little bit because even though it was a year ago, just to go back and just to see the reaction to it. And again, I don't get mad over people's opinions. I encourage people who think differently from me to react and respond, because I think listening to different perspectives only makes you better. But I don't like it when people lie. And it wasn't your fault. And I can't even necessarily blame Avery, because the way I look at it is I don't agree with anything he has to say about it. And that's fine. He doesn't care. He's not losing any sleep over it. He's entitled to his opinion. And he was just in that interview, at least. I know there's been other things that got people riled up, and I just overlooked it. But in that interview, at least, he was expressing his opinion. That's fine. I ain't got a problem with that. But when I saw pillars of the community in the comments saying things that were absolute lies, it just enraged me. Not because they were lying on something I did. Who cares? I got a loud enough mouth. I'll be able to overspeak it. But the thing that upset me is that it took me back to the time that kind of, I want to say prompted your show, because I had said something in regards to Avery. And then we later reconciled on that, to where I was having dinner with my wife, and there was and I had got dozens of direct messages by that point of people saying, we love the idea of Stadia 100. We know it's meant for good, but you're getting attacked. And you know what I'm saying? We don't think it's fair. And I said, okay, that's, you know, but I can handle it. I'm a big boy. But I got one particular message, and the person will remain nameless, as I promised them. They said, look, I love what you're doing with Stadia 100. I want to find more Stadia content. It is becoming harder, but I can't support you out in public because I'm afraid of the response I'm going to get when I support you out in public. And that just infuriated me, because I don't like bullies and I don't like lies. And so you have the culmination of two things that I really don't like working against each other. You know what I mean? So, you know, but as we let time go, as the dust settled, you see all types of people using it now. So, but it was a very interesting time where we were excited to launch something. But then at the same time, we were kind of bewildered and a little perturbed at some of the responses.
So let's do this real quick. Your guy, man, he's been listen, him and I has been the closest we ever been recently. And he's up in the building, none other than Four Scars Gaming.
Four Scars.
Yeah, man, John Scars. That's my dude, man. We've been going back and forth. We got a little like Stadia beat where we play each other in different games. Mind you, he's never beat me yet. He's never beat me yet. Let's just say that. But it's all good. But MM, come on, you gotta back it up a little bit. So there's people that's like, what? Like my guy David Wilson is new, right? Yeah. So like he's new. Like he's an Avengers fan, and he said he was on a Reddit and seen my thing called Stadia Avengers. He was like, wait, other people play Avengers on Stadia? Because he said he never got it matched with somebody. He jumped in my Discord. So crazy. It was my old Stadia Avengers Discord, but I had a thing saying, jump over to my new Discord. He jumped over and messaged me. I said, yeah, bro, we played a game. And he got me back into it. But he would have no clue what we're talking about. So could you explain for the novice Stadia 100 and, you know, its inception?
All right. So I'm going to go. Okay. So I'm going to start where, in order for me to do that though, Cowboy, and I know, you know, I can blabber and I don't want to take up too much of your time. So just let me know if I'm going too far back with this.
That's okay. In order for me, she knows that I was gonna do this thing with you, and after this, I'm taking her to dinner. So mind you, MM, you gotta
be over today. Yeah, we can't be going to midnight with it. Yeah. All right, so real quick, and we can go. You know, we can time travel. We can go on a hot tub time machine whenever we need to. I got to go to the beginning though. All right.
Let's do it.
So,
Let's do it.
When I first came into this community, I want to say it was around January, February of 2020. That's how long I've been making Stadia content on my own, or well, not my own, on the community's own Stadia channel, which is Stadia Dosage, right? And I started learning a lot of stuff. There was what made this community special, which we hope to get it back to one day, whether it's with old faces or new faces, whatever we got to do, is that as a content creator, you were heavily embraced, right? Whether you had 1 view or you had 1,000 views, there was a machine that embraced you, that brought you into the family, that worked on promoting your product, that worked on having you play games with them, that worked on you being part of events and playing events, that worked on. It's like the ultimate concierge. I've been gaming for 35 plus years. I've been on websites, secret black websites, MRC for gamers and stuff. I've never seen anything like this before. So it took over my soul. You know, we were doing Stadia Super Saturdays. We're gamers. I mean, we're content creators for 3 days straight. We're each given a slither of time to play games, and then we're going to the next one and going to the next one, helping grow each other's channel. But not beyond that, just showing the camaraderie around the platform, right? So as time went on, pillars of those efforts were no longer happy with the platform. I'll leave it at that for now. They were no longer happy with the platform. It started happening around the latter part of 2020. So as they were no longer happy with the platform, those efforts were not there as they were. They stopped doing the Stadia Super Saturdays. They stopped doing the welcoming committees and things like that. The notifications that went out, and one of the biggest things that I think that was connecting content creators and gamers was a publication that went out on Reddit that told you what content was out there, who created it, and how often you could find it, and a good little summary of it, right? That had stopped. So I'm like, damn. Well, okay, people no longer happy with the platform. That's still right, whatever. I still am. And most of the people still are too, because they hit me up, MM2k, we're like you, but we love your content, but beyond your content, you know, nothing against you, but we want to go somewhere else too. And I'm like, damn, you are right. So me and my good friends, we all got together, John Scar, Clive, Jack Deslip. We originally got together and we were looking at ways to try to do things for the community so those people wouldn't be lost in the sauce. Then something happened in the community. That part I'm not going to address fully. I'm just going to say something happened in the community to where the community was really demoralized. All right. And that's when I reached out to you and I wrote you guys in. You know what I'm saying? Because I said, all right, me and my buddy,
6 guys, man, 6 guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We were like, I was like, we had to, me and my buddies over here, we had this idea, but we got to get this out sooner because we want to just get past all the noise. It's like what we were saying before, Cowboy. What's the slogan? Shut up and play, or
boot up and shut up.
Boot up and shut up. And I know it was taken a certain way, like we meant it towards you don't give your opinion. No, there's just a bunch of us that I know I'm going everywhere. All right, say you come to the park. We're little kids. We're at the recreation park, right? and you come up with your basketball, and you're like, all right, who want to hoop with me? And there's like 5 of us sitting there. You go to the first person, and the first person's like, well, I would like to play basketball, but the NBA represents a construct that isn't fair to the players and all. And you're like, okay, too much. Next person, who wants to play basketball? Oh, I would love to play basketball, but I'm allergic to the rubber that's on the ball that you have. Okay, next. And then you're going down the line, and you finally come to the 5th person. That may be me. And I'm like, yo, let's hoop it up. You're like, okay, cool. Because all I want to do is hoop. It's not that you don't think that those other people should be able to say what they got to say, but that's not what you came for. Correct. You came to play. So I came to play. I didn't come to hear your self-righteous talk or all this other stuff. So we just want to rejoice with those that want to play. And we were trying to fill that need. We felt like we had to do something rapid, and we came up with the hashtag Stadia 100, which was simply, I'm 100% with Stadia. Not I only game on Stadia, because Project Storm, who's in the chat, right, he at one point in time was flashing that logo on his content too. And Project Storm plays everything. So the notion was, let's get the Stadia gamers together. Stadia 100 was the hashtag. We wanted a simple hashtag that wasn't 55 characters. We're 100% behind Stadia 100. And the purpose of the hashtag was for people looking for content. It wasn't a fanboy thing. It was like, look, here's where you can go to find Stadia content, because we're not doing, even though you guys were doing a fantastic job with the Stadia bash, and that's why we roped you guys in, but we needed a conglomerate of stuff. We needed that. We needed notifications. So we were just trying to get content out to people.
And let me just jump in here, MM. I got to say it myself. To be fair, it was needed, and some of you guys listening now might not know, and MK is being real nice about it, but guess what? It's my show, so I can kind of say what I want. Honestly, man, people were trying to water down the Stadia community. Yeah. And the thing is, what was going out was, hey, Stadia is dying, or Stadia isn't going to go anywhere, right? Because nobody could prove that it was gonna die, but the rhetoric was, it's dying, so you might as well start getting into other stuff. Now, I always explain it this way. It was a happy home. You had the husband, you had your wife, they had a kid. We was all happy. The husband and wife decided to separate, but now the husband and wife, or one or the other, was trying to tell the kids, you need to leave what you knew. And it's kind of like, wait. I'm still happy in my home. Exactly. If you guys don't want to be together, then you separate and go separate ways. So 100 for me was like, this was a way to let people know, no. If you are still a Stadia fan, right? And I'll say it this way that everybody could get. And I used to always say this. You wouldn't dare tell a PlayStation guy to sit through an Xbox video to get his PlayStation news. You're like, wait, where they do that at? So the thing was, it was just for the people who said, oh, I maybe I didn't play games for like 20 years, and now I'm back in the games, and I'm on the island of Stadia, right? And I don't want anything else. Maybe I was in love with this, but I love cloud gaming. I'm a cloud enthusiast, and I found Stadia. So I've always said there's nothing wrong to be the only Stadia guy, because that's what you was. Anyway, the community was so strongly built around Stadia, no one was even thinking about GFN or Luna, right? So when some people wanted to, that's fine. But I think the thing was, people was trying to get people to leave Stadia alone, and that was the issue. Yes, you know. So
that's 1,000% correct. People, the mind state was, I'm not happy with Stadia for XYZ reason.
Right.
But I do love that, you know, Bippity Bop and Project Storm, and I do love the stuff that y'all do. So let's dump Stadia and let's go over here to this platform, or let's go to these bevy of platforms and do this and carry the same party. And the problem with that is, as content creators, and again, I'm not trying to be the old man shaking my fist at the window, I think a lot of them were new. Like, see, you get it, Cowboy, because you've been doing this stuff for a long time, right? I've been creating content since 2017, and I've been writing for little rinky-dink publications since like 2000, right? So I understand the psyche of the content consumer, right? Yes, they may like us, they may send us money, they may do all types of stuff, but they're coming to us for a particular product. You can't just get them the commodity is the product, not necessarily us. They like how we deliver the product. So they're not like mindless drones simply are just going to switch over because you're switching over. If you want to switch over, fine. But you're going to have to do, if you want to do it effectively, you're going to have to do what I did. I went from being a content creator on the cusp of 1,000 followers on Xbox, and I was like, I'm done with Xbox. What did I do? I had to start over from scratch with Stadia. So, and that was just the hard work that I had to put in. So I think what there was is, look, I don't like Stadia, but follow me over here to this, tent. And people were like, no, we like the Kool-Aid and the juice and the cookies and chips over here. We don't like them over, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't mind you, but we don't like the what the other thing represents. And that's what started a rift. Can I answer? I want to answer one question too in the chat, because shout out to the home maker of Chaos. Hey, Chaos, I don't see you no more in my chat, brother. Maker of Chaos says, wasn't Team Stadia a thing? Team Stadia was a thing, but Team Stadia wasn't about content. Team Stadia was about anything Stadia related. Like, for instance, I had several conversations with dozens of people who brought that out. When I go try to look for hashtag Stadia or hashtag Team Stadia, I get conversations. I want content. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm looking for Stadia content, there's no more publication out there on Reddit. And nothing against Team Stadia. Team Stadia is a great hashtag, and I urge you guys to use both, because none of us own Stadia fandom. That's ridiculous. We don't own, I don't have any stock in the company. Use both. But we were serving a different purpose, because hashtag Team Stadia was for anything Stadia related. So I could go through and use hashtag Team Stadia Day, Cowboy, and find a whole bunch of people bickering about Stadia, which is fine. If that's what you're looking for, if you want to see the conversations. But if you want to see specifically content, who's doing what, who's doing a stream, who put up a post or something like that, that's where you use Stadia 100.
Yeah. Now, did you want to answer, or I personally could explain this. So Maker said, and Maker, I'm just bringing it up because as we talk, there are some people that's going to bring up certain things, and I don't want someone in the crowd or the viewers to read your comment and we don't go over it, because I want to address it. So he says Stadia 100 still sounds like they game 100% on Stadia from the outside looking in. You can say that, but we did put a bunch of things like I made a video, Clive made a video. We did put a bunch of videos out especially when we noticed that everybody wasn't understanding what it was intended for. I myself in the beginning was like, all right, cool. And I was like, oh wait. And Clive had to pull me to the side and say, no, remember, this is how it goes. I was like, oh, my bad. So I could actually say that on me, right? But we did a good job of letting people know that, listen, again, the illustration, like you said, with Project Storm, right?
Yeah.
For instance, he game on everything. But if he was specifically doing a Stadia video, he will put the hashtag Stadia 100. Even though his channel might have Crash Bandicoot and whatever on there,
exactly.
But still, you were able to say like, oh, wow, I can go to his channel and find content that is
on Stadia
related. Yeah.
And let me add to that too. Again, I have it on my phone. I have the Team Stadia banner on my phone that I've never gotten rid of. You know what I'm saying? I may not, sometimes I use it, a lot of times I don't, because y'all know me, I like to talk a lot and I use every single character in Twitter. So I might not have enough space. There's a lot of times now I don't put Stadia 100 up there because I run out of space. With that being said, exactly. With that being said, Maker Chaos, when the average gamer looks at hashtag Team Stadia, they think the same thing, right? Right? They look like, if you go talk to a mainstream gamer, they'll be like, what is this fanboy-ish Team Stadia? What is that? And you go, no. You just explain it. It's the same thing with Stadia 100. And if you're from the outside looking in, that's where the hashtag within itself isn't going to tell you the whole story. It's to make connections. So Team Stadia is about making connections about anything Stadia. Stadia 100 was about making connections to content. It's
Yeah.
going to take someone to explain it to some of those, but just because you have some on the periphery that's going to have a misunderstanding doesn't mean that the whole hashtag is shot. It just means it's an opportunity for people to talk and get it right.
Yeah. I want to say what's up to Simpleton. He jumped in here. Stadia Pro, I seen you, brother. And also Ron Slusher came up in here, and Spectre was up in here as well. This is what I want to say to you guys listening too. I didn't even think of it, and you showed it the other day, which was really cool. But I didn't think of this too. Maybe a month into the Stadia 100, and I was like, guys, it's this tool, right?
Yeah.
If you, let's say, and perfect example, and that's why I mentioned Wilson. I gotta give him credit. David Wilson, he's a new guy, man. He's ride or die. He's 5 hours away, and he's on Ray's stream which is 1 a.m. my time. So for his time, it's like, dude, it's like 6 in the morning. But the thing is, you know how many times he inboxed me? And he said, hey, I know Stadia, you said Stadia Bash community changed where you guys don't have to do a specific time, but it would be great if you found a way to put out when people are doing content. Because all he wants to do is be a part of the community. Yes. He wants to watch everything Stadia related. Here's the thing. If you just go on Twitter and do Stadia 100, guess what? If you do Team Stadia, there's just a lot of conversations.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Stadia 100 is for Wilson that wants to know, when can I find my next piece of content? Because I like to watch everybody.
Yes.
Stadia 100 will do that. And that was the thought. Not that we want to just have a conversation. Hey, MM2k, I woke up today and I was eating Cheerios, Stadia 100. No. It's MK. I woke up today, I was eating Cheerios. At 5 o'clock, I'm doing my show, Stadia 100. So.
No, I totally agree. And both are important. If you want to research the Stadia community and see what's on their mind, in totality, hashtag Team Stadia. If you want to find content, it's hashtag Stadia. Like, let me give you an example. The same person that's connected to Xbox that I got that somewhat this rumor, breaking information about the FTC and the whole Stadia buying, Xbox buying Blizzard thing. When there's a slither of people out there in the mainstream gaming community, because that's where I come from, right? They thought that I was the only one that was creating content on Stadia. They thought that Cowboy, they thought that I made you up because they didn't see you. They thought that you were a sock account of mine, right? This is how crazy the thinking was, right? So I'm arguing with my homie in the DM, and we're going back and forth. Don't nobody play Stadia. Like, they don't know that Nerd Nest is out there, all this stuff. They don't know any of this stuff is out there. So he goes and he looks up Stadia. And when he looked up Stadia on Twitter, he found all this negative stuff. Look at this. I researched Stadia. There's nothing but negativity. Just shut up. You're doing something stupid. So I said, well, no, hold on. And I went to hashtag Stadia, because if you're willing to put in hashtag Stadia, you're more likely inclined to talk more fairly about the platform.
Right.
So I put that out there, and that's how you found all these content creators, you know what I'm saying? To where back then Stadia 100 wasn't necessarily needed, because a lot of the interaction on Twitter was just, hey, I got some content coming out there. When I put that in the DM, shut his ass up. He didn't know what to do. Oh my God, just shut him up. He disappeared for a week. So when I was thinking of Stadia 100 with the guys, I didn't come up with Stadia 100. I'm not going to say who did. I don't know if you know who did, Cowboy, but somebody else came up with Stadia 100 as the hashtag.
Right.
So, and nobody thinks this person is fanatical. I just think what happened was we were thinking of a way to connect people to content. I'm going to keep it real. I came out with the video first. Maybe I didn't do the best job explaining it, but I don't think that was the issue. We're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it a buck here.
It's
because MM2k came out with the video. You know what I'm saying? Because I came out with the video and it was already some stuff in the airwaves about me being a troublemaker, that they took the efforts of you, Clive, everybody else, and just threw that to the side and wanted to demonize the effort, period.
You know, the thing is, it was, to keep it real, the thing is the community was being broken. So the Stadia 100 was to salvage what we had left, right?
Yes.
There was a split, and the shift was this. The shift was you either A, like Stadia content, or B, we want you to like other than Stadia content.
Exactly.
Now, some people were skidding on the lines of saying, no, we're not saying don't like Stadia content. You like that too. But there's a big world out here, and there was a lot of people like, bro, I never woke up and said I wanted to see anything else. This is what I want. And it was being like, no, you need to check this out. You need to check this out. Where no one brought that up until the whole shift started to happen. So it was definitely necessary, I felt, because what we were doing with SBC was more like the little guys anyway. And the Stadia 100 was to give a broader picture, like, hey, everybody, listen.
Yes.
Because, you know, we wasn't grabbing everybody to pay attention to what we were doing. So it was necessary, you know.
Absolutely. But, you said that part. I couldn't say it no better. It was being broken. And it wasn't broken like the fans. This is what people don't understand. I mean, and it's something that was said in the interview that I was done a year ago, where it was emphasized. This is a solution looking for a problem, right? And they say the same thing about Stadia, right? And I'm paraphrasing here, but it was kind of like it was kind of put on the tone that nobody really needs this. This is where I say the naivete, we got to be honest with ourselves, because even though I was a content creator that did this for a while, I was naive to cloud gaming. I've had to have other content creators say, MM2k, I see that you did a video on XYZ. That's not accurate. This is how it works. And I had to humble myself and say, okay, educate me. And unfortunately, you had a lot of situations where people came at this full blast, Cowboy, and they weren't willing to be educated on the interaction between content creators and content consumers. Here's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about it, I'm sorry. Hold on. You can't hear that, can you? My wife is so loud. Let me close this door. Hold on.
Okay, I don't hear that at all. But I want to thank you all for coming in. And guys, if you haven't ever subscribed to this channel, feel free to subscribe. I do a bunch of different content, different things on this channel. If you don't want to subscribe, just like the channel. But I appreciate you guys coming to to hear what we have to say today, especially what MM2k has to say today.
Sorry, my wife, she feels like she has to call up our adult children and yell at them daily. So I apologize for that. I just want to make sure y'all hear that.
You know how they always say, MM, before your kids. MM, just yesterday, my oldest child just turned 25 yesterday.
So wow. Okay, good, man. Congratulations on that one, man. Would you believe I got a 30-year-old?
Wow.
Got a 30. Yeah, I was starting early, man. I was like you said, you go, thank goodness there wasn't Facebook back in my day, because y'all feel a certain way about me now. Y'all wouldn't like me. Oh man. But when
you were talking about the ColecoVision, I was like, oh, he might be around my age. Okay.
Yeah. I think I think we're close, so you can relate. But I mean, where we can also relate, Cowboy, is again on the content creation side. What was alluded to in that interview was it was a solution looking for a problem. But what we got to understand is sometimes when we're content creators, we attach ourselves to these silos where we're just dealing with other content creators or people that think like us. See, I learned a long time ago when I was writing for publications, you got to go to the people that don't agree with you first to understand what's going on. So I would go into GameStops. I would do crazy stuff like going to GameStops and just start debates with people, just to get an understanding of where people were coming out with stuff. And I think that's helped me along the way. So as someone that keeps his ear to the ground in the street, I got dozens of people that would hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. I don't hardly be on Discord, that hit me up and would say, I need to know where the content is. MM2k, where can I find content at? Like you the dude that should be knowing where the content is, right? And I'm like, I wish I could help you. I want to put something together, but I can't. Maybe we'll figure out something. So it wasn't a solution looking for a problem. The problem was there. The real problem was too many of us were etched into our silos to recognize it and see it for what it was.
Yeah. Well, to bluntly put it out there, man, it was a good thing, but a lot of people was really hurt, and I just got to throw it out there by I always call it the comet that killed the dinosaurs. They was hurt when Stadia Games and Entertainment closed. Yeah. And I always go back to this. I said, listen, I don't have a problem with, because I got to bring it up. Name changes was a big thing, and his name changes started a big thing, right? There was a point in time where people was changing. If your name had Stadia in it, you had to get rid of it, right? And I said, I don't have a problem with people doing that, right? My thing is intentions. That's my thing. Because if you guys don't know, back then I would call everything out, right? Listen, I had a problem with it. I'm gonna say it on Twitter, and I'm gonna tag you in it, and then I'm gonna invite you to the show. And if you don't show up, then I'm gonna say you was scared of me. So people kind of had
whipping everybody and hitting everybody with the lasso.
Hey, listen, and like you said, you used to go into GameStop. My very first one of these guys, I said, listen, I need Duncan. He got to be the first one, and I'll just leave that there. But I wanted to get at the time the person that had the most heat on them when it comes to this Stadia thing, right? So and we're good friends now, so he could watch this and not feel any type of way, but he knows the history himself. So but the thing is, when Stadia Games Entertainment closed, a lot of people lost faith in Stadia, and that's fine. But what I always said is, I don't have a problem with the people who said I got into cloud gaming, or specifically Stadia, because they promised me cloud native games in the future, and it's going to be something unfathomable. Those people get a pass because those people, what they wanted was taken away from them. If they're no longer going to make cloud native games, then what they got into it for will never be, as far as they know. So that's fine, right? And I specifically say Eddie, even though him and I had our own words, but I always give Eddie a pass when I have my own little beef and who I call out. But him, I didn't listen. The man got into it saying, I'm here for the impossible, the imaginable. And they said they ain't doing it no more. So when he had a problem with Stadia, then go, you know what, bro, you get that. But there was people who was, and then, I'm going to leave people out, but GFN, and I got to tell it, they started to come around and they wanted to get people to join their platform and their community. And listen, it's a business. One of my mottos is, who am I to tell another man not to make money? But it's still intentions, and that I could talk about all I want, right? Yes, if you want to go rob the bank, bro, listen, that's between you and the bank teller. I hope I don't know what to tell you, right? I ain't with you, but that's on you, right? But I could talk about, what's your intention? You robbing the bank for what? What's wrong with you? So anyway, the comment came, Stadia announced, and that was back in February 2020.
Yep.
We're no longer doing we're closing our Stadia studios, and never did they say we're closing Stadia, but that's what was thrown around, and it was necessary to do the things we were doing because I'm one of those people, when I'm on board, I'm either all or nothing, right? And I like the community, and I'm a multiplayer guy, so I love to play games with people. So to watch some of my friends, to a point, be swindled, I will use that word, be swindled, to think, no, I'm telling you, it's dying, this and that, right? And those people was just happy the day before. Those people necessarily didn't even care, because I said this. People said, you don't have a problem with it? I said, listen, I go by an old rule. I can't miss what I never had. I ain't never play a Stadia native cloud game. So I don't know. The game might have sucked. I don't know. So, but what they're doing now, if they continue to do that, what I like now, that's what I'm about. But there were some people that was being swindled to think what they are comfortable with and what they do like, they should no longer like. And that was not cool with me.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. And a lot of people don't realize this. And again, I'm not trying to start no stuff, but the history is important, and I was there. And I'm not going to say this one did this, not one did that, but it was an illusion that that's when the problem started. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell y'all something. The problem started in late 2020. A lot of content creators were mad at Stadia, either because they felt like they weren't getting the attention, they weren't getting the swag. You know what I'm saying? The channels wasn't growing. You know what I mean? Like I was told that I would never, because this is actually somebody that I really cherish and adore, and I really love this person. Even though we may at this point in time look differently at Stadia's worth, that's okay. You're not wrong for your opinion. I always live off of it. You're wrong for how you apply it. Like if you feel a certain way, that's just how you feel. There's many factors into that, but how you apply it is wrong. Like if you feel like, hey, I don't really know if this Stadia thing is going to make it. It just ain't for me. I ain't liking it. That's just how I feel. Fine. But when you go and say, look, Stadia is definitely shutting down by this time frame. This is what they're doing holistically, and this and that. When the data says something else or the evidence says something else, then you have an agenda and you're purposely misleading people because of your agenda. And I'm here to tell you that the fray and the friction was starting in late 2020 because people felt like Google wasn't listening to them on the content creation side. They felt like Google was stupid. And I'm going to be honest with you. And I can't put all the blame because I first approached it like that too. Like, what are these guys doing? My dumb butt, because of my managerial experiences, there was just some things happening that I didn't understand, but now I understand what was going on. I went out there and said, y'all ain't got the right marketing team out here. Here's what you do. And I created an org chart. They were probably looking at me like, who is this doofus? You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what we're doing and we're moving at our own pace. But there was a lot of people that took exception to that. They felt like they weren't being heard. They felt like that they weren't being supported with the way they felt they should be supported. And that rift was happening behind the scenes months before SG&E. SG&E
was, it put the bow on it.
It just put the bow on it. Now I can boldly come out and say XYZ. Before they couldn't do it boldly because they felt like there wasn't enough evidence out there. But this was, regardless of the fact that their assertion was that it was closing down still was false, they felt like that there was enough backlash behind the move or how it was rolled out that now they could boldly come out and say, yeah, this thing is doomed. Let's take the party elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's the history. That's the actual history.
Yeah, that is real. And for the people who don't want to acknowledge that, because I get it. I know Maker said he said that he never got free stuff and he still stopped doing Stadia content. And we're not saying everybody. Listen,
not everybody. No.
Some people could get bored of stuff, right? Some people could feel like, you know, I want this and that. You know, that's fine. So we're not saying everybody. I'm about, like I said, Maker, intentions, right? I personally know some people felt it was dying, but looked you in your face, right? I knew people behind the scenes said it was, matter of fact, and I can say this because I did it on air. That's why I used to always say I like to just do stuff out in the open, because guess what? A lot of stuff we talking about, go on my channel. It's a playlist, Keeping It Real with the Cowboy. Most stuff we talking about, I had people on the show, and they said it out their own mouth. But even if you look at the interview, Avery said out his own mouth, he gave a couple time frames, and one of his time frames was in 2 years, Stadia won't be around. And I personally actually had somebody else, I ain't gonna say the name, but y'all know who it is, on camera, and it's recorded, said March 20, and I said I need a date. We ain't gonna dance around it. Give me a date. He said March 22nd of 2022. Wait, that passed, right?
Oh, I think it did.
Okay. No, I think it did. But again, that's what he was so really thought. You know, it was going to be done. It was going to have a name change, but the Stadia, But anyway, but it is a good conversation. But guys, this isn't to stir anything up, but this is good to bring it up because it's a brighter future. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
Definitely going to get into that. But MM, let me ask you this, man.
Yep.
Do you think the drama, and they will never know. It was a lot of drama. Do you think the drama, one of my questions is, do you think the drama was worth it? Do you think sometimes you should have just shut your mouth and say, whatever, let's watch, just let, if it burns, it burns? Or do you think the drama was worth it, that you stuck to your guns? You was very vocal and, you fought for something. But do you?
Without sounding too cheesy, without me talking like I want trumpets playing in the back, I've always been an outlier. I've always been somebody that don't go with the norm. I follow what I feel is right. Let me give you an example, which this may create a lot of boos in the chat, but I'm known on the mainstream level for the guy that defended Fallout 76. Now, hear me out. I wasn't defending it. I wasn't defending it as a great game. I gave the game a 7, but what it was is you had a lot of pundits and stuff like that that said, oh, the game is a 5, it's a 4, it's the worst thing I've ever played, my eyes are bleeding. And it wasn't that bad. It was just on the heels of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Spider-Man, God of War. Those were AAA games that were super polished and story-driven and all this other stuff. On the heels of that, there was all this hype built around Fallout, and Fallout is a cult game. You know what I'm saying? For people that have a specific type of taste, but then it was starting to get a lot of attention after Fallout 4, mainstream attention. And I think people were putting the expectations too high because it's a Bethesda Softworks game. Bethesda Softworks game always start off buggy and they got some jank to them, but the charm is the travel and some of the other things. So I just went out there and said, look, the game isn't the greatest, but it's not a 5, you know, and I defended that to the death. People still, you know, they what do they call me? They call it the Moss effect. Whenever I like a game and it gets a bad score, that's what instead of Mass Effect, they call it the Moss effect, right? And I laugh at it, right? But I've always been an outlier. And the reason why I came here, Cowboy, which you can relate to too, is I made friends along the way. And yes, I can be a good, transparent friend. But my friendship with anybody is not going to override my penchant for the truth. I can't sit there and say, like, look, Jack is my homie. I love Jack. It's my brother from another mother. But if Jack went out there and said, MM2k, tomorrow I want you to go out there and say that Dying Light is dropping on Stadia, and I'm going to put that out there, right? Me and Jack going to have to talk about that. Like and what was happening was friendships were getting frayed because people were looking at what was the greater good for us as content creators opposed to what's for the greater good as the consumer. And I was sick and tired of the media, the content creators, the writers and the analysts all getting looked out for, but the Stadia gamer had nobody looking out for them. So I'm like, no, I mean, we still cool. We can still kick it, but I'm not co-signing on that. You know what I'm saying? So no, always standing up for the right thing, regardless of what the consequences are. I think if everybody were to do that, and again, I don't deserve no special prize because it don't take a lot to do it. But if everybody did that, things would be a lot better across the board.
Yeah. Want to also say what's up. I see Dre snuck up in here. PSX is in the building, and Chariot Man Gaming just came in the building. Now it's crazy that you said that because this is a good segue to a question I had. And I just wanted to bring it up, you know, so we might as well just bring it up. But this was really cool because you and I, people don't realize. So here's what's cool. You and I actually got into it once upon a time. Yeah. And it was cool because exactly what you said you were doing. You wanted to just be real. And I was trying to have a heart, right? So it was a weird combination because technically I was doing what you was doing and you was doing what you felt you should be doing. And so we kind of got into it. And in the end, you may have been right, maybe not, you know, but I was just trying to have a heart at the time.
No, you know what, Cowboy? No, I'm going to say this. It wasn't that I was right and you was wrong or vice versa. I think you were right too, but what it was is our visions, and we can, and if you're okay, we can break it down. Because I think this is great. This is great for content creators.
It is. You want me to go into it?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
So what we're talking about is the Stadia Bash community network at the time. Man, we was getting hot. Everybody and then mom was like, "Yo, I'll make a show for you guys. I'll make a show." Y'all guys don't know. Rock had a show once a week. Rock's review show started as a Stadia Bash community thing, right? So somebody approached me, which was my guy Duncan. We're cool now, right? But we had it at one point in time. It wasn't that cool. So he approached me and said, "Dude, I want to make a show for the SBCN." And I was like, "Listen, bro. You love Stadia. I get you say that, but you're one of the most vocal people saying you got a problem with Stadia, right?" And I said, "I don't want no nonsense. You can't come up in here, create some crazy show, and then it'd be like you down in Stadia." So he created what has Stadia done now. And the words was clever because it's like, wait, bro, I just told what I told. No, I'm telling you, it's not going to be. So anyway, you know, I said, okay, cool. Let's give it a green light. You know, let's do it. And you and I did talk. You just said, listen, for the brand and everything. Well, I'll let you jump on that part if you like.
Yeah. So here's what happened. Here's what happened. When that show was created, it caused some angst within the community. And I think what it was is that me and you were looking at it two totally different ways, which I don't think a way was right and a way was wrong. It was just serving two totally different purposes. And what I liked about our conversations, we were transparent about it. And we just decided, well, look, I'm going to do what I'm going to do and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to respect each other. Right. So, my perspective was, being honest, I was still upset about the Stadia community being picked on. I took that to heart because, again, y'all just don't understand. If these people were to approve of me doing this, the amount of people that came to me behind the scenes, man, we just want to play Stadia. We just want to enjoy it. Why are we now being attacked internally? Like literally, like I just imagine these people crying on the other end. And I have a heart to that. This is going to be a little bit mushy. I have a heart to that. And when I saw that one response at the restaurant, me and my wife actually got into an argument where we literally almost got thrown. We had to leave the restaurant, not even eat our food because I was in a bad mood. And she told me to put my phone down. I said, who the hell you think you talking to? Because I was so worked up about seeing that, all this just targeting people. Oh, you Stadia this and Stadia that, right? And that show, as far as people were concerned, was going to feed that concern. But you were looking at it as in, look, we're SBC and we create Stadia community. And sometimes we have, like you even do now, which I applaud you for. Sometimes we have conversations where everybody agrees. Sometimes we have conversations where people don't agree. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is our brand and our logo. And what you did is you stood up for your brand and your logo. I was standing up for what I felt at the time was the conscience of the people that were being jaded by certain activity. And we just went on, different paths on that regard. But I think we both came out better because of it. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't just serve one need together. You served the need of tough conversations needing to be had. I served the need of trying to console gamers that just wanted to play the damn platform.
And you know what's cool is for me, I at least followed through, and I wanted to at least, people could never say like, oh, well, you guys just was on one side and never, listen, at the time, I mean, this is history and anybody could say, hey, and the echo will come back and tell you what happened. At the time, my guy, he was deemed not good in the light of Stadia. And that's just a fact. Anybody would be like, yeah. And so by us having that show, it was looked at bad. And you wasn't the only person, trust me. Obviously, if but I thought, you know what? For us, we're a growing brand. Maybe this is like the olive branch or something. And again, he came to me. He came to me, right? I'm saying it live. He came to me. So I was like, you know what? It wasn't my ideal. But you know what? And I talked to my guys. And trust me, it was 4 of us. It was me, Spectre, Ray, and Vet. And we were the 4 people on the board. And they was like, what? And trust me, 2 of them was like, nah, bro. And I was like, let's give them a chance. And, so in the end, we kind of did our little vote and they said, all right, let's see what happens. And for us too, it was putting our foot out there, getting, getting more people to come in. I mean, there was a point in time where I put my foot in my mouth and half the damn Stadia Bash Community Network left because of me. So I'm grown enough to say that. All the UK guys was like, what is it? Nah, we out. I was like, Luke can tell you he in there. They was like, nah, bro, we out. I'm like, hold on. But I just gotta keep it real. So some people didn't like me keeping it real, but I get it was the shock value of the things I said, and people was like, what? And I'll just say it real quick. At a point in time where somebody had put out on Twitter, Stadia said you can't use the names. I'm like, all companies do that. They're not saying you can't, but if you said something crazy in the name of Stadia, then they could come after you. I mean, there's still people who've been making Xbox content, and the title Xbox is a title, right, in their name. But anyway, somebody put the verbiage out, the actual documentation, and a bunch of people was like, oh, we got to change our name, and they was getting rid of Stadia, and I had to be me, because a month prior, when I just say it, when Stadia Source changed to GSN, I was like, listen, what's up with people distancing themselves? So a month later, and everybody was on board with me when I made that content. Everybody was like, yeah, Cowboy's crazy. We love it. But a month later, when my friends start changing their name, I was like, damn, I don't want to have favoritism. So I just made a tweet and said, man, with the growing amount of people distancing themselves from Stadia, because that's the way I worded it. And people felt like, well, what do you mean distance yourself? Well, you just took the name out. So I'm not saying it distanced yourself figuratively, because the name was Stadia Bob, and now it's Cloud Bob, right? So the backlash was, how dare you say that we supposed to be cool? And I was like, bro, we are cool, but you thought it was funny when I said it about GSN. It's just no favoritism. I'm just keeping it real. So a lot of people was mad at me for that, and I'm sorry for the people who felt some type of way, but I just felt I didn't want to have favoritism, because if it was good for them, if I didn't say anything now, they'd be like, wow, really? You ain't say nothing, so. But
here's the thing about my thoughts on that. You're a transparent guy. I'm a transparent guy. And people, I think what people don't understand, it's hard for transparent people to always turn off the spigot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can't not be me. My bad.
You've said a lot of things that I was thinking, but I was like, I ain't gonna say it.
I remember. You was like, "Yo, you wild, boy. You wild."
Yeah.
You was like,
but it was embedded in a factual realm,
right?
It just was a little jagged, but it was a factual realm. And if you look at where the dust has settled after the fact on some of those subject matters, you could point back to when you originally said it, and it was like, okay, you know what I mean. Here's the thing that I learned, Cowboy, and this is, again, something for content creators. The Stadia community I love the Stadia community. It's my favorite community, but it is different over here. And I had to learn that. That's why I was labeled a troublemaker, because I'm transparent. I say when I see something that, like, I come from a region where my brothers, they call me out when I'm not on the up and up about something. They call me out and we laugh about it. Oh, this, that, and the other. We go about our business. Over here, I noticed that a lot of people's egos were fragile when they were challenged. You know what I'm saying? And that's because, I guess, the newness of them doing this, they felt like a challenge was like a death blow, and they didn't know how to handle rebutting your challenge or dismissing it or whatever. And then you have the ongoing strife that was happening for a while over here. So what it does is, where normally what you have to say wouldn't be, it would be, worth listening to, but it wouldn't cause any controversy elsewhere. It's going to cause it here just because of the landscape, and I had to learn that myself too.
Yeah, that was definitely a learning curve. I apologize, but don't apologize. At the time, I just didn't care, because I grew up like you. We clowned each other. That's, listen, bro, you came to school with two different socks on. Oh, you going to catch it. Like, you did it to yourself. You got your shirt on backwards. Like, bro, calm that down. I do. Nah, we ain't calming this down. So that's just kind of how it was. And you came from Xbox. I came from PlayStation. And those are big communities. And like, if people say Stadia community toxic, I'm like, have you ever been in a PlayStation?
Yo.
I mean,
just like that David Jaffe thing that's going on right now. Like it's good. See, people are like, Stadia needs to speed it up, and Stadia needs to get on the main stage. Y'all's head would explode if y'all were on the main stage and Xbox and PlayStation actually thought y'all were a threat. Oh, y'all really wouldn't be able to take it.
Man, right now they're roasting PlayStation for David Jaffe saying that God of War looks like a DLC.
Yeah, it's just going off the rails. It's really going off the rails, and we couldn't handle it yet. So we need to enjoy this time that things are moving slow to help build our thicker skin to something. I'm not saying you condone everything, but you gotta understand, once these other communities see you as a threat, Oh, it's a totally different ball game. Totally different.
It's crazy. It's like an invasion.
Yes.
And I lived it, man. I was an Xbox guy at one point in time. And for me, it's standard procedure, though. So I attribute gaming as like sports, right? You wouldn't, if a Cowboy guy was like, I can't stand the Eagles, they trash. You wouldn't be like, don't say that. You'd be like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So gaming for me, where I came from, it was the same thing, man. I remember back in the day talking about the Genesis better than the Super Nintendo. Look at your Mortal Kombat. Y'all don't got blood. But you know, so I'm used to that. But this is cool because a lot of people in cloud get, first of all, it takes interesting people to say, I'm going to get into the cloud, something I can't even see, right?
Yes.
So, you know, you got your tech enthusiasts, you got your people that haven't played it forever, you got your budget people. We're a big conglomerate of different individuals, and it's a cool thing. But they're in the community, there's a bunch of people like you and me that's used to standard procedure, and sometimes we got to realize, like, oh man, you know, maybe we're a little too outspoken, but that it just is what it is. And we kind of hope people could kind of catch up to it. But at the same time, we want to preserve. It's like Jurassic Park. You got that little island that's away from everything. They got dinosaurs running around like, where are we at? You know, but it feels nice. And I want to highlight what Dre said, because this is cool. And I think my question to you, MM, was it worth it? And I think Dre pretty much kind of acknowledged that, answered that. But he said, the echo chamber is not making sense for me. As I see it now, it's so much more relaxed, so much more fun. The streamers we have now are amazing. And he went into the Twitter and the YouTube. So I think what we fought for, even though it was a bridge and it was a gap, but I can say it is, man, it's going in a good direction, regardless. You know, the little people that say, well, they're never going to get AAA games. Well, listen, maybe they won't. I don't know what to tell you. But Stadia still does what I wanted it to do, which was allow me to play my games wherever. Now, will they ever get AAA games? I'm pretty sure. I have that faith. But regardless of that, I love what I have now. And the community is so important to me because I made friends that I've spent a lot of money on. My white brother passed away a year ago. Matter of fact, 26 of this month make a year, and I had people donate $500 that I probably never meet in my life that live in UK and all over. So that's important to me, and I feel that we was preserving that by making a stand. But
can I want to add to the whole Stadia confidence thing. Do I think that Stadia is perfect? No, absolutely not. I think that there are some things that they do need to work towards that I think are kind of out of their control right now, but there are some things that I think that they could do better. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. And we're vocal about it on the platform. It's just that I'm still enjoying the platform. It's like, again, the whole basketball scenario. Yeah. You know, say me and you are playing, you know, 1-on-1 or 5-on-5 and there's a ref there. Yeah. The ref may have made some bad calls. He may have missed some things, but you know, it changed the trajectory of some things, but I still love the hell out of the game of basketball. You know, and that's the same thing with Stadia. I think what people got to realize with the whole AAA thing is Stadia made a pivot because, and now we got all this information in front of us. That's why this whole Stadia dying in 5 minutes talk really kills me now than it did last year, because we know more now. Yes. Stadia's goal was 1 million active users, which to me is crazy as hell, because if you crunch the numbers, 1%, if you're less than a 1% business and at launch you want 1 million active users within 14 months, that's well over 1%. So, but they weren't trying to compete with Xbox and PlayStation, because Xbox and PlayStation on the tail end at a launch is 6 million. You know what I'm saying? So, but they thought that they could do better than atypical cloud gaming. They didn't reach that milestone, and they only got close with Cyberpunk 2077. So Cyberpunk 2077 truly was the catalyst that makes Stadia say, okay, us trying to just throw these little games out here and there and get this and do that, this current trajectory ain't going to work. And us just putting most of our money or a lot of our money into games 5 years from now, because Jade Raymond told you that their Breath of the Wild, quote unquote, wasn't coming for 5 years. So if you combine all that, they realize it's going to be getting the AAA bangers or the big ticket games that people want to play on this platform. But now they have a problem. They can't, they were hoping to reach 1 million active users to get everybody to just willingly come over. They got 750,000 and maybe they didn't maintain them all. So now they're in a paradox. Do we keep paying people $20-30 million to port these games over, which is not sustainable? Or do we work on our biggest problem, which is our porting? Now we got to go back a couple of steps and work on this porting that everybody else worked on at the beginning of the process. And that's where it's not, are they still focused on AAA games? I just think that AAA developers are at a point now to where they're like, if you're not going to give us the money, this process has to be seamless. And I'm going to say this last thing. This should make sense because imagine if GFN required the same amount of development that Stadia did. You wouldn't see a damn game on GFN. GFN is literally a flip of a switch and a little bit of tweaking here and there, little effort. If they had to do all the porting and it took several months or whatever, like it does with Stadia, you wouldn't see no games on GFN because GFN's not paying anybody. Their argument is, we extend we extend your game to more people. They don't care about that. If it ain't big time cash, I'm not doing a whole bunch of development for your platform. So that's where GFN is shining with the games that they're getting because it's really next to no effort. And where Stadia, as great as their tech is, that's kind of what they overlooked was the porting process, and they got to work on it and get that together, which they are doing right now.
I want to say this. One of your guys, MM, I got to give credit where credit is due. I actually explained to somebody today. I said, oh, I want you to come on the show actually to talk about the PlayStation DLC God of War thing, right? I said, oh, bro, I'm doing a thing. And this is how I explained it. They know you by this way. I said, oh, the guy who put Doc Dark onto Stadia, I'm going to be doing a thing with. So shout out to my guy, Doc Dark.
Doc Dark in the house.
I only knew of Doc because of you. I watched your thing. And then one day I was on YouTube and I said, oh, that's that dude that was on MM thing. Oh, wow. And so shout out to Doc Dark. He is a good guy in the community, and man, he reps Stadia hard, and he's an Xbox guy. So I gotta give him credit. But let me ask you this: everything can't be sunshine and roses, MM.
Absolutely,
so,
I know.
So I got a question for you. I want to ask you, what were you disappointed the most in Stadia? Not the community, but the platform.
But the platform itself?
Yeah.
My number one disappointment is there's a couple that I'm trying to figure out which is number one. I'm going to say the performance of games. I think that I can get the AAA thing because there's really not a lot they can do. The developers are simply saying you got two choices. You do something unsustainable, which they don't want to keep that Pandora's box open. Can't give you $30 million per port each year, or you got to give us better porting tools. So the AAA thing I can kind of get, and we don't know what's coming. Like, correct. We still got 100 games coming, and we only got 18 out of them yet. So let's see what's coming first. But the thing that I do think that Stadia could have done more on is the state of games as they got here. Look, you knew at some point in time that the porting process, even though it wasn't horrific, it's not horrific. I've talked to multiple developers alongside of people like John Scar and whatever, and they tell you, what, it's something to get used to. It's just too cumbersome now when you have a PlayStation and an Xbox that you're trying to get used to. And Xbox still, people, the tool sets are finally here or whatever, and they're trying to get used to that. Those are the platforms that keep the lights on. So it's not that Stadia is so hard to develop for, but you may not have the time and the resources. So knowing that, I would have liked to see Stadia do something to subcontract a porting house to work on some of these bigger games. Like, for instance, I'll take World War Z. It's great that they used the porting tool to give us an 1080-60 version. But if you had a dedicated porting house they could have tweaked that baby up. You know what I'm saying? To not only do you have a 1080-60 port, but then you got even an upscale 1400p to 4K port. You know what I'm saying? Like a game that's going into Stadia Pro, I do not think should launch without 4K. And it's great that you have something there in a porting tool, but I still think that because you have paying customers, you should have put in a little bit more effort. Something like a dedicated subcontracted group like a QLock, well, you can't use them now because Tencent got them. But if you'd have snatched them up or something like that, and got a dedicated subcontracted group to tweak these games for your consumers, it could have went a long way on games like Jesus Christ, like Far Cry 6. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
on Stadia?
I still don't get why that isn't
they can do it. Like, look at Assassin's Creed, Cowboy. They can. It's not the platform. We don't need Gen 2.0. I know Project Storm is gritting his teeth, but we don't need Gen 2.0. Assassin's Creed looks lovely on Stadia. It's just the effort. So where they drop off on the effort, if you got a porting team that can help tweak the game, it makes it even better. So,
well, my thing is this, MM. Listen, everybody say, well, what game you think is Stadia's finest hour? I don't want to hear nothing. If you can make Doom Eternal look the way it look, and that game is ultra fast, like so many enemies on the screen, fireball shooting, and that thing purrs, you know. So you can do that. So definitely it's not the hardware. Let me ask you this, MM. You kind of went over some stuff, but I want to specifically ask you, what could Stadia do better?
I think, okay, so there was an AMA that Vivi of the Discord, shout out to Vivi, fantastic person, love the work that he does and the support he gives the community. He did with the developer of Sky Climbers, and the developer hinted that, hey, look, Stadia's making some changes. They don't seem to be in a rush. I'm not too concerned about that. There are a lot of gamers we know who they are, where they think that cloud gaming is going to be the B's G's next year, so Stadia got to get it. That's false. But I'm kind of in the middle. Yeah, you ain't got to rush, but there are some things that I think you can do a little bit more on. Number one is that porting, that I'd subcontract some porters to get some better games out here. And two, I saw in the chat marketing. PSX put out marketing.
Yeah, he said marketing. Yeah, and then Doc.
Yeah, I don't want to see commercials, none of that stuff, Cowboy. What I would like to see is more interaction. Like right now, everybody was first grumbling about this week on Stadia. Then the homie John Scar put something out there that was great, got everybody excited. But where are the community events? You know what I'm saying? Like Stadia. If you don't want to put fine, hit some of us up and say, look, let's do a Division 2 tournament, or let's do the grid card. Let's bring those back, y'all. And what we'll do is we'll give y'all a couple of gift cards or a couple of codes to do it or whatever. That's all you got to do. You know how much money do they save on that, Cowboy? Come on. You know what I'm saying? We should have an event. We should have a Stadia sponsored event every month with some of the well-known content creators, because we know how to get people together, and then work with people like The Verge or whoever to promote it. Yeah. So I think they could do better at that.
Yeah, I agree. Guys, remember, MM said, because we hit an hour and a half now, he said he would take questions. So if you guys got some questions, which is really cool that he's actually doing that. So if you got a question, write the word question or put a Q, capital Q, so we can see. So I had a bunch of questions. My last question I got for you, MM, because we traveled down the road. We went from the beginning. Let me throw you a curveball. Here's a question that I thought of as you were on here. Can you give us break us down, man? What MM2k, the name?
Woo! Mighty Most 2000. It was just a gamer tag.
Okay.
Back in the day, my nickname was Most. That's just my nickname from around the way. So it was Most, and when I first got on Xbox Live, it was MM2000. Because when back in the day, if you remember Cowboy, everything was 2000, you know,
2000.
Jack of all trades, 2000, this, that.
Yep.
So I just came up with, Mighty Most 2000. And also one of my favorite hip hop artists of all time is Mos Def. So I kind of stole his Mighty Mos Def. He went by. So
nice. Okay. And what's up with the samurai? Or is that ninja or samurai?
A little bit of both. It's whatever you want it to be.
I'm getting man, if you guys didn't see this, I mean I'm a little older, but so when I was in the anime, what was popular was movies. Series wasn't popular back in the day.
Yeah,
it was movies. And then so that's why I'm not so much into series, because that's kind of not my thing. But that reminds me of every time I see a thing, I think of Ninja Scrolls.
Woo! I knew you was gonna say it.
Bro, you know.
Yes.
Man, all you fans that's saying I love anime, if you didn't see Ninja Scrolls, hold your hand and say, let me see if I'm my I'm just gonna tell y'all. Go look up a anime called Ninja Scroll. It's a movie and it'll blow you away.
That needs to be enhanced and redone. It is the greatest anime movie of all time. Anime product of all time.
It has to be. It has to go down. Like it's
But that's the inspiration. That's the Black Jubei. Jubei was one of the names I would go by. And I was like, nice. Let me not. Yeah, but oh man, Ninja Scroll. Yeah, that I watched anime. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I watched anime, Cowboy. I was, Fist of the North Star, a bunch of other stuff. Really wasn't. I was into it, but I wasn't seeking it until I saw Ninja Scroll change my life. For 4 years straight, every Saturday morning, I watched a movie. Every Saturday morning. So changed my life towards and as far as how I looked at anime. And then I became an active seeker of anime. So there was Sam Goodies. People don't remember Sam Goodies. Sam Goodies started selling anime DVDs downtown. You know what I'm saying? And VHS. I started going down there looking for the little different animes or whatever. Always trying to scratch that itch that Ninja Scrolls had, but nothing ever did it. But I'm gonna tell you, Cowboy, even though you may not be in the anime, the thing that'll bring you back. That takes you on the same level as Jujutsu Kaisen, brother. I never heard of that. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay, listen. The fact that you know Ninja Scrolls, so I gotta take your word for
Jujutsu Kaisen. It's a series though, but it'll be well worth it.
Hold on. Now we had a question.
Yep.
And I'll highlight this real quick. Thank you so much. The crazy man G Million is in the building. Did you know
that dude? Oh no! But he's what? He comes to my channel and he talks about flashing me with his private parts and all types of stuff. He's saying here. That's crazy.
Listen, he's crazy. Remember, I met him. He used to hold down Thursday nights on the Stadia Bash Community Network.
Yes,
and,
he did.
And he was sitting there with no shirt on and, and a wig on. And y'all thought I was crazy. No, G Million, he's taking it to the next level.
Well, he's a podcast, right? It's a crazy. What's the name of it? G Million, what's the name of your podcast? I was watching it last week. It was you, a guy, another guy, and a girl. And it was funny as hell.
Crazy? That's he does it's oh my god, I was drawing the clickbait show. Now here's what's crazy.
The clickbait show.
Hold up, you ready? Are you ready, MM?
Okay.
So it was a guy on there that looked like he was Asian or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Bro, that's Spectre who came up with the ideal of the
That is right. Yes.
He did a face reveal.
Yes. Yep. Because I saw his name. That is right. Yep.
Now I'm gonna blow your mind. You ready? I'm gonna blow your mind. The girl that was on there, that's my daughter who just turned 25.
For real?
Yeah, she got into content creation. Yeah, I used to do a thing for
that's
her
what's
and my
up.
wife. Yeah, so she's a co-host with Spectre, and she's a co-host with Suave, and they do a thing called Man vs. Woman. Yeah, that's my daughter.
So, but this show, I'm thinking, does she do any I'm trying to find a way to get it on the Stadia, the little Stadia circular that we do. If she does any Stadia content, definitely have her hit me up so I can get it on there, man. Because
she just launched her own channel last month. And I gave her a Chromecast Ultra, so she does have the means to. So I need to and she used to stream with me. So that was the thing. She streamed, but she just natural, bro. Her first stream,
Yeah,
she's like, "What's up,
yeah.
guys?" And everybody's like, "Yo, you this commercial?"
That's why I
I'm
was
like,
so shocked, because
yeah,
she seemed like a natural, and the show was
yeah,
funny.
man.
I was just cracking up, man. Oh
Yeah,
man,
they're
that's
crazy over
wild.
there.
That's
But
wild.
here's a question for you.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Stadia Pro Gaming, he said, question, MM2k, what is the most influential person that means the most to you?
Oh, well, I'm gonna go on. It wouldn't be fair for me to say it's somebody right now, because
Right.
there's so many
And
people.
you don't have to say me, MM.
Yeah,
It's
you
cool.
know, Cowboys at the top of that.
Yeah.
And there's so many people, because I always humble myself and realize that I can't do this without you guys' support. But I gotta, I go back to my brother now. I know he's not a favorite of the Stadia community, because y'all don't understand his humor. But I simply wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, and that's my bro, Next Gen 720. You know what I'm saying? It was my mentor. He brought me up in the game. He believed in me when other content creators didn't want to bother with me. You know what I'm saying? And just wanted to take my stuff and use it. It did not bother with me. He believed in me, and the rest is history. So he's been the most influential person as far as content creation has been to me.
Now, I know you heard of this guy, man, but I always tell him, bro, you got something special about you, that he's just so polished for a guy that's new in the community. And it's none other than Low Five.
Low Five.
Yeah,
What's
man.
up, Low Five?
I'm like, Lo, you got a good thing about you, man. You just keep my thing to all you content creators. Actually, let me get this. If MM2k could actually give some advice to content creators, that would be awesome. I just want to say this: just stay consistent, and I'm gonna be real. And you might not want to hear this. Viewers come to view you, and the moment you're not on, they will find someone else. It's because your favorite. When The Walking Dead go on break for half the year, do you just stop watching TV? You don't. So just be consistent and fit it in, right? I'm not telling you to tell your wife or your girlfriend that you can't come see them, but fit in your time. And once you realize you got a following and people like you for you, like, bro, I done seen every chill time with Squids, because that's my listen, I'm
that's
at
my
work.
that's some great stuff,
man. So, but it's that type of thing, because you know Squid's gonna be on, right?
Yes.
And so consistency is my advice for the content creators. But MM, if you could bless the people with some advice from you, because you've been doing content for a long time as well, and we all look up to you, man. So
yeah, I want to piggyback off of what you said. Consistency is key. That was a big thing of mine. I've kind of run into some issues with my wife, and she got to go through rehab. So that kind of messed up my consistency. And that's why we doubled down on sharing the channel with other people, because it's always been about the community. So yeah, being able, like Cowboy said, to tune in and know that Squid is there every morning, that's key. And I'm talking to some other good brothers behind the scene. We got more content coming. So just because MM2k is gone doesn't mean that Stadia Dosage ain't popping something. So that's key. Another thing is you got to do what makes you comfortable. You know what I'm saying? You got to find your voice, and you got to do what makes you comfortable. Don't sit there and say, "Oh man, Young Yao is popular, so I'm going to talk like him." And no, don't try to take anybody else's stilo. Like my boy Cowboy out here doing the high kicks, got the cowboy hat, he doing his own thing. It's distinctive. I had to find my own voice, because I thought I was going to come out here and be James Earl Jones at first. If y'all listen to my first content, it's trash. And so then I remember my daughter was listening, and she was like, "Dad," because my kids are honest. She's like, "Dad, that's garbage. That's hot garbage." She said, "Dad, you are so energetic. Like when you talk to us, it'll be about sourdough bread, and you're yelling at the top of your lungs. Do that there." You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. And so then I turned it on and I did it, and the rest is history. Some people may be annoyed, but again, it's distinctive. You got to find your voice. You know what I'm saying? And find your voice, be consistent, and always have a backup plan. Like if you're looking to go do stuff, like SBC or Stadia Dosage, some people will come on, some people will come off. It's okay. Always have a backup plan, because you don't want to be derailed. So those are the three things that I would say.
that's awesome, man. That is awesome. And I agree with everything you said. And it's just, this content creation is amazing because we don't know where it could take you. Nowadays, streaming platforms could, and I always say this, could give any idiot with a phone or a camera the ability to change their lives, whether it's you have a following of people who appreciate your work, whether you make some extra money, whether you make substantial money, right? But content creation, and I tell anybody, if you want to get into it, I guess my number one thing, just start. Don't second guess yourself that I need the biggest microphone and I need, you know, the super lights in the background. No, you just say, I want to do this. I'm gonna write down the ideal. This is what it's gonna be called, and I'm pressing the button and go live. Because the moment you stumble, like MM said, but that was practice for him, right? Those videos where he said that I was terrible. Well, guess what? The thought process said, oh, I was terrible. Now I know what to change. You might pay the $500 microphone and all this stuff and still be trash. And then you might get discouraged and be done, and you just waste a lot of money. So just jump in there. Man. Wet, jump in there.
Oh yeah, I just want to add to that. That was the best advice, better than anything that I said. And I'm serious because I run into a lot of content creators that I try to spread the love that Next Gen showed me, and I try to spread to them. I'm like, just do it. Well, you know what? I want to get this and get that. Like, no, like when I do the SDO daily, that's one take. I don't sit there and be chopping it up and all that. No, I got stuff to do. I got things to eat. I ain't got time to be sitting there for 9 hours chopping up no video. Just do it. And then as you do it, you progress and you polish. Then you can add that extra stuff in. But like Cowboy said, just get out there and do it.
So guys, any last questions? I'll be paying attention. But at this point, I want to give you the floor, MM. And well, first, before I do that, I want to ask you, is there anything else? I had a bunch of questions, but I exhausted my questions. You had great answers. We did a down memory lane. I do not think in my heart of hearts, anything we said today was harmful to anybody, even the history. I would like to think tomorrow the sun's still going to come up. Nobody's going to be like, I'm banning the MM2k and the Now Your Mama Knows show, you know, so I would like, I think you agree with me, right? I think
we were very behaved,
right?
As
and trust
people
me
that we are.
When I say this, we could have said a lot more. The story's crazy.
My God.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna do that today.
Yeah, it's all good. But but MM, is there anything else that I left out? Oh my God, shout out to my guy Windstar real quick. Hold on.
Windstar!
You gotta get Windstar on. Yeah. MM, is there anything that you had in mind to add that maybe I didn't ask and it pulled it out, or maybe you didn't say yet? Is there anything else? Or
G Million says read my super chat. We did, I think we did read your super chat. I think you read it. G Million is such a bully.
He is, man. But you know what? Not for nothing, I did at the Rock today. I did a super chat and Rock didn't read it. I was like, bro, read my super chat. That's what it was meant for. Yeah. My bad, man.
Shout out to Rock. Shout out to Rock.
Definitely shout out to Rock, man. Oh, he said the ranking of Kings
is awesome. Is that an anime movie? I gotta check that out. Oh, another one that you may want to see, Cowboy, is Sword. Oh shoot, I forget. It's on the same line of Ninja Scroll, and it's a movie. Right. It's called Blade of the. I'll find it and I'll DM it to you. Okay. It's like an ode to Ninja Scroll.
Ooh.
It's another anime movie. It came out, I think, in like 2007. Blade of the Swordsman. Blade of the Swordsman.
Okay. You're gonna have to inbox me these things, man.
I'm gonna have to send that to you, brother.
You know what I did watch? You know the most recent series that I watched, and I was like, it sucked me in. I did watch all of Claymore.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. I was started on that, and then I stopped because something else came up. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a good series too. That's a good series too. Definitely. There's a lot out. See, here's the thing, Cowboy, which I don't blame you for not getting into it without taking up too much time. There's so much junk out there. Like me and you grew up on we don't care about the super melodramas or the cooking shows or anything. And nothing against people that do. We grew up on the gore, the fighting and all that. So you got to weave through so much other silly stuff to get to the stuff that we grew up on. You know what I mean? But So I get why you're not into it now, but there are some
Yeah,
hidden gems.
yeah, because I was into, like I said, you watch Ninja Scroll. There's
Yep.
barely any silliness, and then my
Mhm.
boys, they was all super diehard in Dragon Ball Z. I was like, bet. And then I seen
Yeah.
Goku going to school to learn how to drive. I was like, can he fly? And they was playing baseball. I was like, nah, bro,
Yeah, like
you don't got me messed up,
old
bro.
school anime, but even though Dragon Ball Z is old, but the atypical old school anime outside of that back in the day wasn't like that, bro. They
Nah.
don't know. They
Nah,
don't
like
understand.
we talking about Akira. We talking
Yeah.
about Wicked City. Wicked
Woo!
City,
Wicked
bro.
City, bro.
Wicked City. Oh man,
Man,
come on.
man.
Yeah.
Hey, look, that anime was so good. A good friend of mine, shout out to, he went by the rap name. This is how cheesy we was back in the day. He went by the rap name Ricky Medallions. Uh, me and my bro Ricky, we made a rap group based off of Wicked City because we saw the
Wow.
movie, saw the anime, and we was like, "Oh, that's a dope name. Let's use that." We
Right.
Wicked. We never went anywhere, but still, just
Oh man.
fun dumb fact.
Damn, what was I used to always pull out the old guy, the little old guy name. I remember he was like, "I'll piss on you." Like,
Yeah, I forgot his name. Oh man,
he
yeah,
had
that
a
was a wild
crazy
one.
name, but every now and
Yep.
then I would say that. But so here's a question. I
Yep.
can't see said, what podcasting software or app would you recommend with easy editing?
If you're okay, so what I do is I use OBS. And when I stream, I use OBS. And when I do my SDO dailies, I just have these pre-made templates
Mhm.
and slides. And sometimes y'all even hear me type it in the back. I know, but hey, whatever.
Right, right.
But what it is I just use that and I do one take, and I just practice doing it with one take. And then so that's what I record with. If you're looking to edit stuff and get stuff right, you're going to need Audacity for your voice recording program. And then you're going to need all the plugins for Audacity so you can download an MP3. And then I recommend Adobe Premiere. Now, there's some ways to get it, but I ain't going to say, but you get Adobe Premiere and you use Adobe Premiere for your video. And the combination of the two will help you out a lot.
That's cool, man. That's cool. All right, guys, listen, if y'all got questions or forever hold your peace,
Yep.
But so MM, I think I got away with the whole is there anything you wanted to add?
Oh yeah. Look, the Stadia community's been through a lot. We had our ups and downs. People have come, people have gone, and that's okay. That's what happens in communities. I used to be a pillar of the Xbox community. I left. I couldn't pay my way back in right now for one, and that's okay. It is what it is. It's important for the community to continue to grow and know the people that pivot off of facts and are having great discussions. This right here as a platform. If you're just following me and you're not in tune with this platform, shame on you. Great discussions here. Check it out and definitely subscribe, join, become a member, all that good stuff. And what I want to say is, because now you're becoming a senior person, Cowboy, that what he does, which is model, and I'm challenging all my big Stadia creators to do is, in order for this to grow, we got to pass the baton. Cowboy's role model in doing this, but more of us bigger YouTubers have to do this. Mention more of these new content creators. Get them on your show. Even if you're doing a video, I was watching Lo-Fi Monk's video here and check them out. Do that. We got to start being a little bit more selfless and stop guarding all of our gold chips like Scrooge McDuck. Because in the long run, if we don't grow as a community, then your following is going to dissipate anyway. You know what I mean?
Anyway.
So that's the biggest thing. And that's why we did this. We went over the history. We're going to be doing some more initiatives. Hopefully I'll get to work with Cowboy again as we get some gaming events. If Stadia ain't going to do it, we're going to do it, damn it. We're going to get some gaming events. We're going to do some stuff. But my biggest thing right now is going to the bigger YouTubers. Highlight people, even do a spot, something. We got to pass the torch. We got to keep growing this on the content creation side. That's it.
I agree. Now, MM, I'm gonna throw in there something, right?
Yep.
I'm like you when I tweet and I put 1 million characters, but I personally gonna say this right here today, and I would love for everybody to follow me, right? Guys,
Yes.
let's bring back Stadia 100.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try, because remember, it's not about being in a clique. See, that's one of the reasons why we got rid of the N on the network.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Vet brought that, and no disrespect to him, but
Mhm.
we was hit with it felt like a club that you had to be in, right? It was like, well, you could only stream an hour, and you at one point in time, you was like, bro, listen, I'm busy. I can't commit to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was real.
Yeah.
So we realized, let's just make it Stadia Bash community. Anyone's welcome. I'm tweeting out people that do primarily PlayStation or Xbox, but guess what? They got a little sliver of Stadia. I'm throwing you out there. So, but guys, the one thing is, if you do what MM did the other day, and I did this the other day, if you go to Twitter and type in Stadia 100, content creators pop up.
Yes.
So if we listen, it's 30 people watching. If we say, starting today, when I tweet something for a content creator that I want to either A, watch, or either B, I'm making my own content, because a lot of people do want to grow their channel, right? Well, it's like putting the bat signal out. That's all it is. It's a tool. You go live. Listen, crime going on. We need Batman. Bam. Oh, there's Batman. Now we can find him. So if you want people to find your content, let's all start putting the hashtag Stadia 100. And let's all start, okay, just don't put it out there. From time to time, go search Stadia 100 on Twitter. See all your fellow and community members that do content and be like, oh, he did a stream the other day? I didn't know that. Go jump on a stream. Watch it back. I watch a lot of people content driving to work. You know, I got unlimited on my phone, internet. So I just press play on the video and I drive to work and I listen. I get to work and I listen. That's how I listen to Squid. Squid was streaming this morning when I was driving. I said, I didn't get to work yet. And you know, but guys, I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm personally going to make sure I'm using the hashtag Stadia 100 again, because I fell short of it, but I do write a lot. Y'all, you'll notice. You're like, he don't even write SPC. We don't see SPC or nothing. My bad.
Yeah.
But
it's same here.
But no, and I actually did it
Stadia too. Use Team Stadia as and everybody use Team Stadia too. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
You know,
but let's do it because it's a tool. Because the David Wilsons that's just coming in here, like, I don't know when people streaming. He vividly said to me, he said, bro, and this was yesterday. He said, bro, maybe you should have like a schedule that you put up weekly so I can know, because he wants to watch everybody. Listen, and you got almost everybody know him now. Like, oh yeah, David Wilson, I know that guy. Bro, this is like less than a month he's been in the community, and he's gonna watch everybody. So I'm personally challenging everybody. Myself, I'm gonna start using the Stadia 100 because it's really good for content creators and for viewers who want to get content. So absolutely.
So Bud asked me what more stuff we got on the horizon. I know we got to go. We got a couple of shows. One, we got a show where I'm going to say it's a deep dive show. We advertised it. I think it's Project 52. I called. I don't know where the hell I came up with that, but yeah, we got a deep dive show of something that I'm working with somebody on, somebody that's real familiar to y'all. That's all I'm going to say. And then we got another show that we're working on where we're going to be, it's a one-on-one show where we're going to be tapping somebody's brain on some Stadia stuff. But it's cool. The way that it's going to be done is like nothing else is like it. And shout out to my son, Shogun 2K. He's starting to make music now. And he hooked us. I said, son, I got this idea. Here goes the concept. I said, make me a beat. He made the beat. I said, this is crazy. So we're going to air that. And then he's going to also be making beats too for content creators, music. He does hip hop, techno. He does everything. So if you need like an intro music or anything like that, soon you'll be able to get that off of PNTS Network. But yeah, we got some dope stuff coming to Stadia.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's cool. I think G Million had a question for you, man. He must have been talking to you.
I can't lift my feet off the ground. Cowboy beat me to shame. Ever since I moved, I ain't been doing my workout regimen. But put in an extra $5.99 for Cowboy. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Hey, MM, I didn't hear you say no.
No. Not it would be called Only Please. No, heck no. No.
This is great. This is great stuff, guys. I want to say thank you guys for coming out. I know you guys came to see MM, but this is literally the most people has ever watched. This is probably the most concurrent viewers I ever had. So I just want to say, MM, thank you for that. Thank you guys for showing up. MM, see, whenever you think, man, that you're not doing your thing, if you ever just was like, man, you know, I'm about to hang my damn hat up. Bro, this is what it's for. People came out, and I know there's some people that's not speaking that came with the eyes open, like, what they gonna say?
Yeah.
But you know,
Exactly.
a lot of people always follow my content, wondering if I'm gonna say something crazy. But
Shadow followers,
that's just a part of the showbiz. But MM, yeah, I want to thank you, man. I want to thank all you guys that showed up. Everybody, I'm terrible at this, but how, you know, like the comment if you liked it.
Yes.
Go check out MM as well. If you're here and you're like MM2k, definitely. Matter of fact, hold on. Why I didn't do this yet? But MM, let me pull up your channel real quick, Stadia Dosage, so I could throw it in there just in case if some people didn't know of you before. You do now.
Yep.
So guys, this is the link for Stadia Dosage channel. Please go check them out. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Good stuff over there. And like he said, he got an initiative helping out some of the other prominent, you know, some of the people in the community, like my guy Squids and stuff like that is pretty cool. And so there you go right there. I'm gonna pin this, guys. Make sure you check it out if you don't already know, but I'm sure all you guys know who the great MM2k is. MM, thank you so much, man, for coming on here.
Thank you for having me, brother. It was a great discussion, man.
And the thing is, this was your ideal, so I gotta thank you even more. I didn't wake up one
you
day
started
and say,
it. You started it.
I wanted to say something to you a while ago, like, yo, I want to do something with you, but this was cool. You said, yo, bro, put me on, let me know. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So
you did reach out. In all fairness, you did reach out to me. I didn't want you to think I was ghosting you. My wife got rehab 3 times a week. So I was like, you know, I'll get back to you. But now things are starting to schedule themselves out to where she's about to recover. So I said, I got a little bit more time on my hands. So when you did that, and then now my schedule's open up a little bit more, I said, all right, now it's time for me to come through for my brother.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, you had just got the call that, you know, your wife was going to surgery.
Yep.
That's deep. So guys, man, thank you so much. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Guys, let's share this video. Let's have everybody hear what we talked about, and let's start doing our hashtag Stadia100, man. It is a beautiful thing if you're a content creator and if you're a viewer as well. It's going to serve both purposes. And if we care about this platform we like so much, forget about the naysayers and the people who think it's dying on Tuesday. Let's just show, like I did a video and I said, I'm no longer defending Stadia. People took that and ran with it and substitute the word defending and put supporting. I was like, what did I say? Wow. But guess what? After that, I said, listen, like even Maker was messing with me one day. I said, bro, this is new Cowboy. You ain't even gonna push my buttons. Because guess what? It's still working. And Stadia said it better. And Purple keeps using it. Stadia said the proof is in the playing.
Yes.
So when the proof ain't in the playing anymore, then you got me. But if I could turn my Stadia on right now and still play. Matter of fact, when I go to eat dinner with my wife, because I'm taking her out to dinner as soon as this ends, I'm gonna sit at the table for y'all and I'm gonna play some Streets of Rage 4.
Yep.
And Panera Bread.
Absolutely.
My wife looking at me like, no, you ain't. But but guys, thank you so much. One more time, give it up for the great MM2k. Come on, guys.
Appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Definitely. Well, MM, that's it, man. We did our thing. And you know, if you don't mind, I'd like to well, you know what, I was about to say if you stay backstage a little bit, but more like you know, for a hot 2 minutes.
Absolutely. No problem, brother. No problem.
Definitely. All right, well, guys, take care. You guys have a good night. And with that said, I'm the Cowboy. This is MN2K. And now your mama knows.
And now your mama knows.
Bruce, unleash the baby god dragon.